How does Dr. Kim help us win? She helps us win by giving us life strategies to be successful in the workplace, all the while using biblical and kingdom principles. And that's the difference, and that's the key, and that's why it works. So internationally known. Yeah, that's right, y'all. Worldwide, Dr. Kimberly Ellison joins us each and every Wednesday, and she helps us win on Wednesday. She wows us with the information and strategies that she gets, and we just appreciate her so much. So we are going to get right into it. So, Dr. Kim, a lot of things that we talk about, and that a lot of things that help us be successful in the workplace, you have to be dependable, and dependability creates consistency. So let's just kind of start there. How do those two things partner and work together as far as being consistent?
Listen, Jermaine, I'm so glad when we were talking about, winning on this Wednesday, it's more so really taking a look at the behaviors that it will take us in the workplace to make sure that what we're doing is transferable in our career, but also transformational, meaning those are things that will change us. It'll change others around us. And so when you think about being dependable, that means you are developing a behavior that not only others will benefit from, but you will benefit from. It is transferable as when you go through your career or you take your journey in your career passing. If you are dependable, that means you are developing consistency and self-discipline. And those are the two behaviors that are transferable. But then that transformational piece is where others are transformed through the work that you do as a believer in the workplace. And so that's what I really want to talk about, us to really dive deeper into those two behaviors within your career, because we don't think how important it is for us to remain consistent and then also for us to be self-disciplined.
Right. And one of the things that I remember just getting into the church back in 1986, and, 14 years old at the time. And I just remember the pastor really saying one of the worst things that people can say about you is that they can't depend on you.
That's it.
And
the
so
thing is, listen, Jermaine, that's the thing. If your word is everything that you have, but most importantly, your actions are what people measure you by. And when you think about that, wow, listeners, consistency is doing your job well, and it's the act of doing something in the same way over time. It's the act of doing something in the same way over time, and it's so there's accuracy, and people begin to believe you, and they begin to not only believe what you say, but they believe what you do. And so that's the act of consistency. But you know what? The thing is, while listeners, you have to be self-disciplined, because that's the ability to control your feelings. You see, all that is when you're self-disciplined, and you're say if you are. This is what this reminds me of. And we always have to use the biblical principles because we want to make sure we can apply them. Is the story of the book of Ruth. And, when Ruth and Naomi was returning from Moab into Bethlehem, people think Naomi asked Ruth to go out. But if you really take a look at Scripture, Ruth actually said, I am going to go out. They returned to Bethlehem during the harvest, the barley harvest. And so Ruth said, hey, we don't have anything. Naomi said, hey, I've come from this to nothing. And she says, I'm going to go out in the field, and I'm going to go behind those who are out there, picking up the grain, and I'm going to pick up what's left over. And she did that consistently. And the behavior shows it.
Right. And that's the lesson in it. And so we have to be consistent. And this is a word that we really don't like to talk about, Dr. Kim. And you've already mentioned it a few times, self-discipline. It is so difficult for us to discipline ourselves to where we can be the success that we need to be. I used to share with my kids when they were in school, I would say the difference between an A student and a C student is discipline.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, I wrote a book here. It's called Strategy. And for the wild listeners who are out there and they already have it, they know I always talk about the practice of self-discipline separates, Jermaine, the dreamers from the doers. Okay? And it's the difference between those who aspire to accomplish and those who are accomplished. And so your self-discipline is your system. It is a system in which we work toward consistently. Remember, it has to be consistent, but it's also the thing that drives us to be successful. And we have to overcome. And one of the challenges in the workplace and even in our life or business, we have challenges being disciplined and having that self-discipline. Because if you think about it, self-disciplined people are able to move past how they feel.
Right.
And still do the function. And so I encourage you, wild listeners, to move beyond how you feel, because that's where the commitment comes in. So these are triplets. Consistency, self-discipline, and commitment are triplets.
Right.
Because commitment, Jermaine, and those of you who are listening, as I really share, it's doing what you said you would do long after the feeling you said you do it in has left you.
Right.
And so many of us struggle in the area of self-discipline because we allow how we feel to affect how we deliver. And so if you look at the story of Ruth, she had lost her husband, okay? Her mother-in-law had lost her husband.
Right.
Then her sister-in-law, Orpha, left. And then they traveled from Moab to Bethlehem. She left her family, her mother, her father, everyone to live out her purpose. And so what I'm sharing with you all on today is that we have to, Jermaine, begin to understand it's not about our feelings. When we are trying to be successful in our career, successful in the work that we do, or advance in the workplace, we have to know that we need to have a triplicate effect. We need to be consistent, practice self-discipline, and remain committed. And if you think about it, Jermaine, the biggest thing that we get with people with self-discipline is they say time. I don't have time.
Right.
You know, they'll say they lack time.
Right.
Well, here's the deal about time. Time is the thing that you either have to spend or invest, and you choose what you do with it.
Right. So true. It's so true. And that's a brilliant observation. It's what you choose to do with the time. And shameless plug, we have Jonathan McReynolds coming in town tomorrow night, and he has a song that simply says make room. We make room for what we want to make room for. We make time for what we want to make time for.
I'll tell you this, and for those of you who are out there listening, this wow is going to help you, because what I said, I want them to walk away with some practical things. When you think about time, I want you to think about, are you investing it or are you spending it? Because when you invest your time, that means you are consistently being self-disciplined to produce the commitment that you had committed to.
Right.
And so what it's telling you is that I'm taking the time to be effective, whether I'm committing myself to growing and developing, getting a certification, developing my projects, working with teams, whatever it is that you're doing, you have to be aware of your time. And then are you spending it? Because when we spend time, that means we are more so complaining. We are browsing. We are, doing things that are not productive. It's counterproductive.
Right.
Even scrolling on our phones, even been counterproductive in our beliefs. So let me give the practical things, Jermaine, because we always have to walk away with what is it that I need to do to remain consistent and self-disciplined and committed. One is your behavior. We have to understand that our behaviors are our actions, and they are our practices. So what behaviors do you have, wild listeners, that are not producing or that they are counterproductive to what you really want to accomplish in your career path or in your business? And so what are behaviors, what actions? But the number one thing, Jermaine, that we do not believe is that our beliefs, our self-limiting beliefs, are what restrict us in our behavior.
Right.
And so those are the two things that I wanted to share with the WOW listeners on tonight. When you want to become that triple effect and you want to be able to have that consistency, remain self-disciplined, and stay committed to the path, you want to make sure you're taking a look at what beliefs or limiting beliefs are driving your behavior. Because if you lack self-discipline, that means there are some self-limiting beliefs that are restricting you.
Right.
And I want to challenge you to really take a look at that and think about, what beliefs do I need to change? What's limiting me? And I'll tell this personal story. There were some things, and I was trying to at work, and I said, well, you know what? I want to, I'm going to advance in this particular area. But I kept saying, well, you know what? I did that a couple of years ago. I don't really want to do that again. I already done that role. I already had that skill set.
Right.
And it was like 10 years ago. Right? And so that was a self-limiting belief because I restricted myself because I said I did that before. But I didn't do it at this company.
Right.
I didn't do it with these people. And so what I did, I found some different things in doing that project that I discovered more skill.
Right.
I discovered more of my gifting. And then, again, think about it, that transformational.
Right.
I was able to be more consistent, which is transformational. which helps others and that you serve. And so I just wanted to let you all know on today, when you are moving and being consistent and self-disciplined and you're staying committed, those are the things that will cause you to be successful. On tonight, we're walking away with some strategies that are kingdom principles, but some strategies and solutions to help you get back in the game tomorrow. I want you to remain consistent. Self-discipline is the difference between your now and your next.
All right, Dr. Kim, and we thank you so much. You have truly helped us win again, and we just appreciate it. So go ahead and share your contact information, or maybe those out there that want to see more, hear more. How can they get in touch with you? How can they reach you?
Absolutely. Go to my website, drkimberlyellison.com. That's Dr. Kimberly Ellison, and pick up this strategy book. It's a triple threat master plan. It's going to help you develop your self-discipline and also in your consistency and eradicate some of those self-limiting beliefs. It's an amazing resource for you, so pick that up at my website. Also, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I'm Dr. Pay Ellison on Twitter and Dr. Kimberly Ellison on Instagram and Facebook. I love hearing from our listeners, so go ahead and check me out and then communicate. Send me a DM and let me know how you're liking our sessions.
All right, Dr. Kim, well, thank you so much, and if the Lord says the same, we look to do it again on next week, where we will win on Wednesday.
Absolutely, Jermaine. Bye now.
All right, Winning on Wednesday with Dr. Kimberly Ellison. We just appreciate her so much. We know that she helps us, y'all. She helps us in the workplace, and we just appreciate her. More God's music is on the way. Going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back with more right after this.